Hello and welcome to Holistic Health Detective. My name is Rebecca Jones, and today we're going to talk about where do I start? What do I believe? Where do I get good information? How do I know who to trust or what information to trust? So, what I'm going to do is give you some broad brushstrokes, some kind of key points that are going to help you evaluate, like what do I do? Should I take this? Should I not take this? These are really going to help you make decisions with a really good basis or a really good platform from which to understand and select what you want to do and what you don't want to do. All right, so we're going to start. Number one, keep it simple, because if the fundamentals are missed, then no amount of complexity is going to make you feel any better. So many times I've found that something so simple as an iron deficiency has been missed. Many thousands of dollars spent on supplements and treatments, and something just as simple as a blood test measuring the iron, getting an intravenous iron, and turning someone's life around literally overnight. Same with B12. So just B12 deficiency, get a B12 shot, and then someone's life completely changes after years and years of struggling with all kinds of problems. So don't miss the simple things, the basic fundamentals of health. That's really important, because it's very easy in health, and as you might have seen, to get into lots of big words, lots of Latin-based complexity that makes your head kind of swim. So don't worry about that. Start with the simple things, because you can go a long way just with getting the basic things in, which is, make sure your vitamin D is good, your zinc, your B12, your folate, your iron, things like that. Make sure there's enough protein in the diet. That's sometimes overlooked, especially in elderly people. They tend to miss out on a bit of protein. So just even protein powders can turn someone's life around. So that's number one. Number two, diagnosis. So I come from a background of working in general practice. So my health paradigm is definitely your traditional blood tests, ultrasounds, urine tests, that kind of thing. So that's my diagnostic paradigm. And I find it incredibly useful and can give you a lot of information, especially if you understand a bit more about nutritional biochemistry. So if, for example, people who might be treating irritable bowel when actually there's an inflammatory bowel situation, and that can be missed, and the treatment regimes for those two things are actually quite different, with a different kind of time frame that you need to do the treatment. So you really want to make sure you know what you're doing. You're not heading off in 10 different directions and spending thousands of dollars on an idea or something someone told you was wrong or whatever. So it also gives you a much better understanding of yourself if you have a diagnosis. Now, sometimes you can do all the diagnostic things and nothing shows up. That doesn't mean you can't, there's not more to do, and we can be definitely discussing that in another podcast. All right, tests. So your basic GP tests that you would do are usually looking at, your major things. So you look at red blood cells, white blood cells with a full blood count or complete blood count if you're in another country. You check things like kidney function, liver function, and some usually cholesterol, and then some tests to measure your blood sugar control. There's various different ones, but those are the basic ones. Now, the ones that are very important for functional or integrative medicine are things like serum zinc, vitamin D, thyroid. Thyroid's really good. Iron studies, B12, folate. Did I say vitamin D? Vitamin D. So these things are super important because if they're optimized, it can make a huge difference in someone's health and well-being, and resistance to viral infections, etc. So for me, those are really important. Also, if there's digestive symptoms and are long-term, don't forget to check for an infection, because there can be low-grade kind of infections in the digestive tract that kind of grumble away and cause problems. So definitely want to rule that one out. And things like celiac. Celiac is a a very significant allergy to gluten, and that can definitely be overlooked, particularly if the symptoms are more on the mild side. Because, yeah, many times, like I said, many times I've seen that go undiagnosed for some years and have found picking it up. So, next thing is a subjective analysis. So, am I better? So, many patients came along and would bring me their boxes, thousands of dollars worth of supplements, and I would ask them, are you any better from taking these or for whatever they're doing? And my litmus test, I guess you could say, is absolutely. These absolutely help me. Then that's pretty good. If a person says maybe, or I'm not sure, possibly, then that's a no. That's a no, because if you're going to be spending, well, these days, $80, $100, $200 on supplements, you want to get a yes, I'm better from that investment, right? So that's a good litmus test. And if someone's no better, it means that either the supplements are poor, there's something being missed in the diagnosis, or they're on the wrong track. So there you go. Now, reliable information, where do we go for that? So Google Scholar is a good place to go. It's a bit can be a bit confusing, all the complicated language, and tend to need a very large medical dictionary sometimes to read these. Some of the summaries on clinical trials are in simple language, so you can read those. I find a really, really good place to go is case studies. So you've got doctors or health practitioners who are seeing patients every day, trying to help them, using the best of their skills and knowledge to help patients, and they come across really amazing information and results, and they write those up in case studies, so they can be very, very good. My own personal favorite text that is absolutely incredible, truly gold, if you're really interested on the details of nutritional biochemistry and really understanding the different pathways in the body, is a book called Laboratory Evaluations for Integrative and Functional Medicine. So it's written by Richard Lord, Alexander Brayley, I think it is. That book is absolute gold. So if you want to invest in something that will really help you on your journey to health, it's pretty much the go-to text for that. From when I give advice, I've basically done thousands and thousands of hours of follow-up, calling people, talking to them. Are you better? Are you not better? Let's do some more tests. Let's check this. Let's check this. So I've done a lot of following up, and over the decades, there's certainly been different supplements and regimes that have come out, and when these reps would come to me and say, oh my goodness, we've got this great new thing and it does ABC, I would say, great, give me 5 free bottles. I'll give them to patients, and I'll follow up, and if they're better, let's chat some more. But if they're not, I'm not interested. So I did that a lot. So I would say, great, and the patients would take those supplements, and if they went, not so much, then that's it. That was that. But definitely there's a lot of brag in the supplement industry. This is going to do everything. So I'm a little bit skeptical on that sort of thing. Now that brings me to my very next point, and that's the quality of supplements. So my operating basis, if you like, when it comes to supplements is high dose, short term. So really targeted supplementation. So when you see supplements that have maybe 15, say 20 ingredients and tiny amounts, especially the big new things that come out, we've got this, we've got this. It's a very good marketing ploy. But because there's very little in the way of therapeutic amounts, they're not very effective. And I'm a big fan of getting maintaining nutritional status, if you like, with food, which can be done, not always, depends on the nutrient, the person, etc. So high dose short term. So when I'm looking at a supplement, generally speaking, especially minerals, I'm looking between 1 and 4 ingredients, not really more than that. The vitamin C powders, I'm a big fan of powders, tend to have things like bioflavonoids, which is great. The magnesium powders tend to have some B vitamins to help the absorption of the magnesium. That's fine, but the main ingredient in a magnesium supplement should be magnesium, and the main ingredient in a vitamin C supplement should be vitamin C, and in a zinc supplement, the main thing should be zinc. So the dosing is important. The form is important. For example, zinc sulfate causes nausea. Liquid zinc tends to cause nausea. Zinc picolinate is a great way to go. Zinc citrate's good. Magnesium oxide is very poorly absorbed, and magnesium bisglycinate is very, very well absorbed. So the form is important because you need to get it from the digestive tract into the blood and from the blood into the cells. And certainly if you want to know what forms are well absorbed, the text that I mentioned, the laboratory evaluations text, will give you the data that you need on that. I'll definitely be covering some of that on podcasts in the future. So quality of supplements is very important. So you really want to go for a company that does thorough testing, checking if their raw material has any viral contamination, any fungal contamination, any heavy metal contamination, making sure that it's not watered down with flour, which does happen, things like that. You want to make sure they're doing DNA testing for herbal medicines so they're not mistaking one plant for another plant, which has happened in the past. So the quality control systems that are employed in the supplement company they give you definitely peace of mind, for sure. Otherwise, you're sort of just taking, I guess, someone's word at that, right? So it's quite good to have some certainty around that one. And I think that's about it. Those are the key things, and hopefully they will help you make your own decisions, evaluate when you come across information, and just give you some tools to look at things and decide what's best for you. So thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate your time, and until next time.